Welcome back, my Overloader friends. It's nice to have you all back on another video for Planet Coaster 2. As you can see, I have loaded up the pre-built game of Planet Coaster 2. Got early access. Looking forward to it. No, not really. It's just Planet Zoo, but it would have been nice considering the fact they don't even have it ready yet. But hey, uh, I digress. So, um, today, though, we will be talking about the electrical system and how I think it's going to work in Planet Coaster 2, comparing it to Planet Zoo, hence why I brought us into Planet Zoo. For those of you who have not played Planet Zoo, this will be a good way for you to see exactly how it may work and my potential thoughts on this particular topic within the Planet Coaster 2 game that will be releasing sometime this fall. So I'm thinking November 14th. That's my guess as of right now. But before we get into it, I do like to thank all the current and new subscribers that we got from the recent upload video. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate your support, and you all truly rock. So thank you. So with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get into what I believe is going to be in Planet Coaster 2 when it comes to the power system as well as the cleaning of the pools, because they said that we're going to have to do that as well. So in Planet Coaster, in Planet Zoo, we have these right here. Now, these 5 items do certain things, certain tasks. 3 of them do pretty much the same thing. So this one here is going to be the gas generator. This one here is our solar panel. And this one here is the wind turbine. These 3 different items will generate power, which you can then plug into. Each one have a different sphere of influence, with the guests for negativity, as well as a sphere of influence for powering different items within your, in this case, a zoo, but for Planet Coaster 2, your coaster, and light posts and ATMs, etc. So, next, we then have the water filtration pump and the heat pump. Now, we may not have this, but I'm kind of thinking they might do it though, because there are heated pools at some of these, parks. And so, especially at like the resorts, so it's possible we may get these, but that's not 100%. I would say probably a 85% chance. Well, correction, I'll say 90% chance that we'll get these. We might not get it in the base game. It might be in like a future update once they eventually release hotels, if they decide to, because as of right now, we're not getting hotels, which is a bit of a shame. But now each one of these have a different sphere of influence. So if we bring up the heat map here, and we do the power, and if I go ahead and just move this guy here, we will see its sphere of influence and how far that takes up. Now, if we also switch it to the negative impact for the guests, you can see the red sphere. Now, if any of the paths should interact with that part of the red sphere and the guests enter it, it's going to result in a negative impact on that particular guest. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind when placing the gas generators. And these are the first ones that you're able to get in this game anyway for Planet Zoo. And then you work up to the solar panel. Now, when it comes to the solar panel, that particular one here has a smaller sphere of influence, as you can see. So it has less power that it can generate, but its negative sphere is 0. Which, if I remember correctly, it used to have a negative sphere, but I think they changed that. But when it was first released, I thought there was still a slight negative sphere. Comment down below if that's correct or if I'm misremembering. And then here's the wind turbine sphere of influence, which is a little bit bigger. And again, there is now a small negative for the wind turbine, though. Maybe it's the wind turbine that I was thinking of that has the negative sphere. And then we have the water filtration. And this one, as you can see, has a nice sphere. The water has to be within the sphere. As long as just a little bit, at least in Planet Zoo, a little bit of the water is touching the blue sphere, then it will be cleaned. The entire thing of water that bit of water is connected to. So the whole bit will be cleaned. Now that might be the same that they'll do in Planet Coaster 2. And then, of course, there is a negative sphere of influence with it as well, as we can see. And lastly, the warmer, which, as you can see, it has that large of a sphere. And the negative impact is about the same. Now, with this heat map, you also have the temperature gauge that you're able to take a look at. And with that, as you can see, it shows the temperature of the surrounding area. So with this here, I believe that they'll have something like this as well in the game. I mean, we know that they're going to have the heat maps because we saw that in the video. But they did say in the video that that we're going to have to focus on providing enough shade for our guests. So this would help us identify the hot spots where we need to play down more shade for them, put down more shade, or pay for it, because obviously you're going to have to pay for the umbrellas and so forth to be able to place them. But unless if you're doing sandbox mode and you have unlimited on, then it's a whole nother matter. But I digress. So if I can, I will go ahead and snip out the little bit where they're talking about the power supply, and I'll add it in here shortly, because the way I think that they're doing it, because in Planet Zoo, I thought at one point there was a limit on how much stuff could be, hooked up to the generator, basically. And I could be wrong about that. So let me know in the comments below if I am or not. But I thought at one point there was some limit to it. Again, that could be wrong, but the way that they said in the video, it almost sounds as though there is going to be a limit now, so only so many items are going to be able to connect to it before it can't supply any more power, which makes sense because a generator in real life can only generate so much power, and that can only be distributed to so many items. So having it available to unlimited amount of items doesn't make sense if you're trying to do a realistic type of a park. So that's why, and it seems as though they're trying to go more into that realistic aspect for us. And so that's why I think that there is going to be a limit on how many items are going to be able to be run off of this, and also depending on the item too. So depending on how big the coaster is and how much power is going to be required for that particular coaster to run, it may very well take up the entire power supply. And then same with the pools too. It can only filter so much pool and so many of them before it's overloaded. So now this here has like 3 different tanks. I mean, you could basically say then, possibly you could do like, 3 separate pools being all worked together in here kind of thing. To be honest, I don't know how that, I know that was fill up, but so let me go ahead and add in the video now.
Coming, and I touched on some of the new management features with the facilities and the new shop earlier, but we've got some new ones. We've got other ones, haven't we?
Yeah, as part of the water parks we have water filtration, so you need to make sure that these pools that are being used by our guests stay nice and clean. Over time, as the pools get busier and busier, they're going to get dirtier and dirtier, so you need to make sure you have a water filtration system in place for your pools and your flumes. And then on your coasters, your rides and your facilities, we have a power system as well, so you need to make sure there's enough power for them to keep keep running and for your guests to use them.
And they'll need maintaining as well.
Exactly. You need to make sure you've got
Can't let them run out.
that spine, that essential part of running a park is the staff.
Yeah.
So making sure you have all of the appropriate staff in place, enough of them as well, make sure they're happy, paid well, and keep their morale high. But your power and your water need to have mechanics. As do your rides, make sure they're being serviced and repaired if they break down. We've seen our lifeguards in action in a...
And if I was able to do it, you'll have seen it right there. But yeah, as I said in the video, that's how it sounds like to me. So that's what I'm kind of thinking it might be. I don't know if that is going to be the case. Let me know what you guys think. Would you like that idea with that type of micromanagement? Because then you have to be smart on where you place your power supply, and that you have enough power flowing. I think it would add more of a micromanagement. And I know I've read some of the comments. I know some of you don't like all the micromanagement type stuff, and I can understand that there are some days where I just don't want to have to deal with all that. But I mean, that's the one good thing about the sandbox. You know, you can turn those particular requirements off if you want, which is great. But those are my thoughts. I think that they are going to be taking this type of a system and just transferring it over to Planet Coaster 2, but I do think they might be updating it, though, to the point where there will be a limit, and only so many will be able to connect to it, which I'm okay with personally. But let me know what you guys all think down in the comments below, and if you're liking this the series that I'm doing, and you want to see more, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that way you're always notified when a new video is released. And if you like the video, please hit that like button. Let me know that you're liking it. Help me out with that algorithm and get me out there. I greatly appreciate all the support that I've received so far. You guys are all amazing. Every single one of you overloaders. Thank you so much. You do truly rock, and I really do appreciate you guys. And ladies, thank you all so much. So, you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, or evening, or morning, whatever time it is for you as you're watching this episode. And I'll see you all next time in reality.